Since the dawn of the human race, people have sought to push forward the limits of knowledge and reasoning through creative inventions and new discoveries. But not everything they made or discovered was necessarily beneficial. Frankenstein, a 19th century novel, has been interpreted by many to serve as a warning to the possible dangers of new discoveries and inventions. Mary Shelley's Frankenstein is an allegorical warning to modern scientists who develop artificial intelligence on the perils of blind ambition, the possible danger to human life or privacy, and the need for responsible development. To begin, modern scientists must advance with prudence, especially in the creation of this technology, AI. Frank- Frankenstein serves an example, unfortunately, of what not to do. He states, I desired it with an ardor that far exceeded moderation, but now that I had finished, the beauty of the dream vanished, and breathless horror and disgust filled my heart. Later, writing upon the consequence of this, he says, as the memory of past misfortunes pressed upon me, I began to reflect on their cause, the monster whom I had created, the miserable demon whom I had sent abroad into the world for my destruction. So here Frankenstein sees that a lot of the woes that have come about from his creation was him not reflecting enough on the possible consequences or outcome, and him not seeing this, what ended up happening, the death of so many people around him, as a possibility. Scientists must take this as a warning. They must try to foresee all the possible outcomes and consequences before they move forward with their technology, for it is very powerful. And if they do not advance with prudence and caution, these things can happen. A lot of the top scientists are already saying this. So, for example, in this MIT article, it's one of their many journals, it writes, Hinton said he long thought that computer models weren't as powerful as the human brain. Now he sees artificial intelligence as a relatively imminent existential threat. So Hinton is nicknamed the godfather of AI, and here he's writing about the fact that when he first started many, many years ago, he didn't think it would even be as powerful as the human brain, but now he sees it as an existential threat to humanity itself. This goes to show that prudence must be met. He didn't see all the possibilities. It's not too late yet, but before scientists advance in this pursuit, they must reflect on the possible outcomes and consequences of this technology. Furthermore, AI developers must be responsible in the development of artificial intelligence. Unlike Victor Frankenstein, who states, unable to endure the aspect of the being I created, I rushed out of the room and continued a long time traversing my bedchamber, unable to compose my mind to sleep. So here we see Frankenstein. The first thing he does when he creates this being is abandon it. And later the being says this about that. Yet you, my creator, detest and spurn me, thy creature, to whom thou art bound by ties only dissoluble by the annihilation of one of us. Your purpose is to kill me. How dare you sport thus with life? Do your duty towards me, and I will do mine towards the rest of mankind. So here we see a beast attributes a lot of what has happened and the evil that he's doing to the fact that he was abandoned. Now, this can serve as a warning and allegory to the dangers of not being responsible, and scientists who develop artificial intelligence must keep this in mind. It is a very powerful tool that they're creating, and they must remember that if it falls into the wrong hands or if they let it become more powerful than they can even control, it could serve as a great danger. So they must put the necessary guardrails in right now. A Science Direct article states, consequently, a gap exists in understanding how AI technologies are governed responsibly throughout their life cycles. So we see already scientists do not fully understand how to responsibly use AI, how it fully works. So before they go forward with the pursuit and the advancement of this software, they have to stop and reflect on how to responsibly use this, and this debate has to be settled. For if not, they could be like Victor Frankenstein and have all these problems coming from the fact that they didn't put the necessary safety measures in while they had the chance. Finally, AI scientists must not let ambition take over their judgments or cloud their prudential reasoning. Like Victor Frankenstein does, he lets ambition cloud his reasoning. He says to Walton before he dies, "Farewell, Walton. Seek happiness and tranquility and avoid ambition, even if it be only the apparently innocent one of distinguishing yourself in science and discoveries." Yeah, why do I say this? I myself have been blasted in these hope, yet another may succeed. And earlier, writing about how this passion came to grow in him, he says, "For when I would account for myself to myself for the birth of that passion which afterwards ruled my destiny, I find it arise like a mountain river from ignoble and almost forgotten sources, but swelling as it proceeded, it became the torrent which in its course has swept away all my hopes and joys." So here we see Frankenstein just wanted to move forward. He just had this ambition, this goal, and nothing was going to stop him. But he wasn't prudent. He didn't think about moral consequences. He just went forward, and then once it happened, he regretted it. It caused everything that ended up happening to him. That was the reason. Scientists must take this as a warning. They must have a purpose for their creation and think about what the purpose is and do not exceed that purpose. And they must not be ambitious to just push this technology as far as possible. They have to reflect and think, what are the consequences? What can we do? The scientists must not let ambition overtake their judgments. They're very smart. Let their judgments shine through and not let this passion overtake them. Writing upon this, Dr. Bell Isagagné writes, artificial intelligence offers numerous benefits but also carries significant risk, making a thorough examination of AI pros and cons essential. Balancing ambition with caution is crucial when considering AI's impact. This could not be written any better. This is exactly the point. AI can be good. It has served many good purposes, but there are also dangers, there are cons, and this must be considered. So the ambition and the zeal that comes with trying to advance scientific knowledge and the pursuit of creating new things must be balanced with caution on the dangers. This is essential in the furtherment of AI technologies. In conclusion, Mary Shelley's Frankenstein serves as a powerful warning against imprudence, irresponsibility, and letting ambition overtake one's judgment in the advancement of technology, especially modern artificial intelligence. Ultimately, only time will tell if scientists heed this call and whether the technology will truly be good for humanity. Thank you for taking the time to listen to this presentation.